Exactly 3 weeks ago I said it's enough. I can't do it like this anymore. We need to rescape this tank. And so I did. I took apart the old scape that was in here and created the ultimate guppy breeding tank. And this week I thought, let's give you guys an update about it. They keep going crazy over there. So let's dive into it. So first things first, when we set up the tank we had 8 guppies in there. We're now down to 6. But don't worry, we didn't lose anyone. If you've seen last week's video, you know I split up the group. There used to be 4 males and 4 females in this tank, but the males were pretty aggressive. With pretty much all fish species, you want more females than males to prevent aggression. And that was exactly the problem I had. The males are aggressive. One night I was sitting in front of this tank and I noticed one of the females was giving birth, but there were 4 males around her trying to eat her baby as it was being born. Which is really weird to see. So to give these females a bit of rest and allow the babies to be born, I took out 2 of the males to restore the balance within this tank. We now have 4 females and 2 males over here, and 2 males have been moved to this tank over here to join our spotted turtle, which is actually going pretty well. And yeah, aggression is minimal in there, so I'd say that's a success. But back to this tank. As of now we have around 10 baby guppies, but none of them are in here. They're actually all up there in the shrimp tank. Let's take a look. Alright, let's see. Yep, this is a disaster. Now all the algae you see in this tank has formed in the last week alone. A single week. It's so much. So I think there are 2 things causing these problems. Number 1, there used to be a ton of floating plants in here, but since I removed them, there's a lot more light coming down into the tank. On top of that, the floating plants take out a lot of excess nutrients from the water. So all of a sudden there's a lot more nutrients in the water. There's a lot more light hitting the bottom of your aquarium. I mean, that just sounds like an invitation to algae. But on top of that, I use this tank to house all of the baby guppies so that they don't have to go with either the turtle, who will definitely eat them, or their parents. But this just increases the bio load. I already lowered the intensity of the light and reduced the time the light is turned on. But I still have a ton of algae in there. I think I'm gonna tear it down and start over from scratch. Which is kind of a shame because I'm a really big fan of the scape here, but seeing how fast the algae grows, I don't really think I have a choice here. Alright, enough with the shrimp tank. Let's go back to the guppy tank and see how it's growing in. Okay, back to the guppies. This tank is doing really well. The fish seem very happy, they're very active, they're eating well, they're producing babies. It's really going well with this tank. But not only are the fish thriving in there, the plants are thriving as well. At least, most of them. Let's go over them one by one. Alright, let's start off with this, the Elodium. It's a really fast growing plant, but as you can see it's not really doing too great. There are a lot of leaves missing or just really short, like over here. This might be a result of the fish eating the leaves or the plant melting back. Either way, it doesn't really look pretty, but I'm seeing some new growth on there, so I'm not too worried about it. Here we have 1, 2, and 3 parts of the crib, which to be honest I expected to melt back a little bit, but it didn't at all. It's doing really great. Next up we got this bad boy, which is doing a bit 50-50. Some stems died off completely, but the few remaining stems in there are actually growing new leaves. So that's pretty good. Over here we have probably the biggest success in this tank, the Rotala Mexicana Bangladesh. Look at all this new growth, man. We've got this obvious stem that's grown really long. You can actually see that the one in front of there was cut right there and has grown all this brand new. Same happened on this stem, it was cut right here and this part is new. this stem was cut over here, and these two parts are new. And just like that, all the stems we planted have some new growth on there. So this one is doing really great. You can already see this little bit right here. This is part of an alternatira we put in there, and it's just completely melting away. Now this is a bit surprising to me since I am using liquid fertilizer in there. So I think this might be a lack of iron in the water, but I'm not really sure. What I am sure about is that this plant over here, the Hygrophila rosenervic, is doing really well. It's really bright, it has a lot of new growth all over the place. On top of the beautiful green colors that are in there right now, as soon as this plant will reach the top of the water, the top few centimeters of the plant will turn completely purple, which I think looks really cool. Alright, let's give these fish a bit of food, shall we? Yeah, that'll keep them busy. That pretty much wraps up this week's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. And if you're hungry for more content, I recommend you watch this video next to see how we initially set up this tank. I'll see you there.